mentioned that, quote, all precedents of the Supreme Court deserves the respect of precedent. Let me ask a couple of questions about Supreme Court precedent. One recent precedent was a Hosanna Tabor case. This unanimous opinion affirmed the ministerial exemption to the First Amendment. In other words, the government doesn't have to tell, or doesn't get to tell churches or other religious group how it selects its ministers. Does Hosanna Tabor deserve the respect of precedent?
Yes, Senator.
Thank you. Another recent opinion was U.S. versus Lopez. The opinion involved the Gun-Free School Zone Act. Importantly, the act was passed pursuant to our commerce power. Supreme Court struck down the bill to saying to uphold the government's contentions here, we have to pile inference upon inference in a manner that would convert congressional authority under the Commerce Clause to a general police power of the sort retained by the states. Does U.S. versus Lopez deserve the respect of precedent?
It's a precedent of the United States Supreme Court. That's a weighty thing, Senator.
Thank you. Still one more. Recent opinion in Glossop versus Gross. It was actually handed down in your circuit, I believe. It involved the constitutionality of a death penalty under prohibition of cruel and unusual punishment. The court said, quote, it is settled that capital punishment is constitutional. Does that one deserve the respect of precedent as well?
It does, Senator.
Right. Is foreign law ever valid precedent in American courts?
Senator, we just discussed this with Senator Sass, and there are instances when foreign law may be appropriately cited. For example, in contract disputes between private parties, sometimes they will have a choice of law provision where they've contracted for the application of a particular state's law or maybe even a particular nation's law. In interpreting the United States Constitution, it's generally not useful for courts to be looking at foreign law. We have our own traditions that are frankly the envy of the world if we want to talk about American exceptionalism. And it doesn't require us to look very far to find our own precedents and our own history that are more germane, usually, Senator.